What I'm going to do here is an experiment. I have here a silicone that declares it is special for aquariums, but it doesn't say what chemistry it contains. I've looked in the internet to find an MSDS, but there's nothing. This one says it can be used for aquariums, although it contains acetic acid. What it doesn't contain is fungicides. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour some distilled water in these two glasses, and then I'm going to drop a bit of silicone inside the water so that the curing period, the first 24 hours of curing, goes on inside the water. I want to see if the silicone produces any change in the acidity of the water in these both cases. Additionally, I'm going to put a bit of acetic acid silicone on this bit of plastic, waiting for it to cure in the air. Once it's cured, after 24 hours, I'm going to put it in a glass of distilled water. And then wait another 24 hours, and then we'll measure the pH in each one again to see what are the results. Regretfully, I don't have a meter to measure the pH. I only have this paper pH. However, I hope that it is precise enough to show some difference in the pH of the distilled water alone and of each glass of water once the process is complete. Let's see now what we've got 24 hours later. I'm going to pour a bit of distilled water here so we can compare. I'm going to wet a bit of pH paper here. With distilled water, it goes green quite quickly all over. And that means it has a pH near 7, 6 or 7 maybe. pH paper is kind of old, but it goes green. Now let's see with the distilled water contaminated by the silicone that is supposed to be special for aquariums. Well, it's sort of yellowish. That is about 4. It has an acidity of 4. It's acid. Okay? Now let's see with the other silicone that is a acetic acid based silicone. What is that? Also it's yellowish, but maybe a bit more yellowish, going more to red. Right? So very similar though, not very different, right? About 4 of acidity. And now we will, this bit of acetic acid based silicone, it's dry, it's been 24 hours drying. Now I'm going to put it in a bit of distilled water, and we're going to leave it here for 24 hours. See if it gets contaminated also, and it gets acid. So we leave it there 24 hours, and we check again. We will check the acidity of each solution. Okay, this is 24 hours after having put the silicone that had cured in the air, after putting it in the distilled water. This silicone that was put into the distilled water, fresh, uncured, liquid, it has been 48 hours in the water. This one also. This one is acetic acid silicone, and this one is special for aquariums silicone. Now let's see how they compare with the presence of acid in the water. Distilled water alone shows a little green tone. That might be between 5 and 7 pH. Let's see now with the silicone that cured in the air. If it was perfectly cured and doesn't let any acid get into the water, it should be the same as the distilled water on its own. And as we can see, there is a bit of acidity in that water. It is not as green as the distilled water on its own. Now let's see, I'll leave these over here. That's the one with silicone, this one distilled water alone. Now with the silicone, acetic acid silicone declares it has acetic acid. It is yellow but with a small tint towards the orange, and that would be in the high side of 4 pH, an acidity of 4 but nearer 3. And the silicone that is supposed to be special for aquariums, it also is yellow with a small tint towards 3. 4, 3, between 4 and 3. And these two, as we can see here, practically are the same. Maybe this one is a bit more greener, less yellow than the one that says it has acetic acid, but very little. The difference between distilled water alone and the one that says it's special for aquariums shows that there is some acidity in that water. Whichever the case, it is clear that curing the silicone before pouring in the water is absolutely necessary, because 24 hours after curing the silicone there still is some acidity. So I would have to recommend, don't pour the water into the aquarium 24 hours after curing. Wait for 48 or more hours before pouring in the water. Well, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, leave your comments below if you have any comments to give, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.